Hello everyone and welcome back to the Oasis.
The entertainment Oasis.
Oh, it has been a while since we've done that.
Yeah, no, it's been
It's been months. I can't even remember the last video we made. I don't remember when it came out. Sometime last year?
I would say so. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time.
Over half a year. Wow. But anyway, a lot of things I guess have happened over the past couple of months. Just changes in our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I myself am actually going to be moving out of here.
He is.
In a little bit.
It's gonna be so sad.
Yeah, I know. You'll never have a better roommate.
No, but on the plus side though, I get to convert his room into my game room.
Yeah, right.
So
It's so sad, so sad. And then
sad.
like once he closes the door,
finally, it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. All mine. No, yeah, but in all seriousness, we decided to make this video, I guess like one last video before I actually leave the place. This is probably going to be the last video
For a while.
for a while, and of us being in this setting, like in this, apartment with this background, with the two of us side by side.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the end of an era.
It is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. But we're hoping like in the future, maybe we could still make videos, even if it's like, I don't know, he'll record his stuff from like where he's at, kind of like make it look like a Zoom call or something. I don't know.
Right, something like that. And it's probably only going to be, as far as we know, for now, just strictly like discussion videos, like drinks and a topic.
Yeah, it'll be something simple, something that we really won't have to like do too much, especially with, you being like God knows where, hundreds of miles away. So it's like, yeah, it's the easiest thing at least at this point. But But yeah, we wanted to make one last video just as a farewell and have one more topic discussion.
Yeah, farewell for now.
For now.
Yeah. We definitely want to try and do like you said a different setup, but yeah, we're gonna be in two different locations. So yeah, that was a quick update.
Yeah.
But
now onto the meat and potatoes of this.
Yeah, now to the actual topic, right?
And what is this topic, good sir?
Well, of all the stuff that's been coming out on all the different streaming services, whether it be Netflix, Amazon Prime, what was another
Hulu?
Another one? Hulu,
HBO.
Yeah, all the popular ones. There has been at least a trend, and it's probably been going on for a little while, but I think now it's finally gotten to a point, I think, where people are just kind of fed up and kind of catching on with it. And it's mainly about when a streaming service takes an already well-established property or franchise and just wants to make it its own thing completely. And that can be very, very different from the established source material, from the established lore and characters, the ones that everybody knows and loves. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. I mean, if you're a company and you buy the rights to a property and they're willing to sell it to you, they're the ones willing to give it to you and let you do whatever you want. You know what I mean? And that's all fine. I mean, by all means, you bought the rights, it's your thing. However, it doesn't mean that you bought the guarantee to the fan base as well. You're not guaranteed those views. You're not guaranteed those clicks. That has to be earned. And I think more and more people are starting to realize that the more you just kind of take something that's already there and just do whatever you want with it, it's like, well, that's not what people want to see, because that's not why they fell in love with that franchise or characters to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you take something and it has really nothing to do with the source material except the name only. People aren't going to be that receptive towards it, and I completely understand it,
Like what's an example you've seen recently?
Well, I've seen several, and we both have seen several. Especially you. You're actually the one that actually gave the time and day to some of these things and actually saw like an episode or two.
Yeah.
For me, like a lot of it was just like I know I'm not gonna like it. Like I don't know. So I guess kudos to you with that. You actually gave some of it a chance, but I think one that hit both of us, since we both are big fans of it, was Cowboy Bebop, right?
Yeah.
For Netflix. Now, when it came out, or like when I knew it was coming out, I was like, a live adaptation on an anime, no one's ever been able to get it right. And yes, I know I'm gonna get flack for this, but Japan doesn't get it right either. I'm sorry.
No, they don't. Remember that Attack on Titans movie, Gantz? Oh god,
I saw that in theaters.
We did see that in theaters
when it came out
and
years ago.
That was disappointing.
Look, I know people like, oh, the only ones that can make good anime adaptations are Japan.
No.
But I really think people say that because anime comes from Japan, and you know, I guess people would feel like they're insulting them for saying like even you can't get it right, and that's the country where it comes from.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. Anime adaptations, they've never gotten it right. Now, video games, overall, I don't think they've done it 100% right on video games either. There have been better takes than others. You know what I mean? Like, some people liked the Silent Hill movies. You know, some people like the Resident Evil movies, and I'm like, okay.
Who in the world like the Silent Hill movies? Well, Resident Evil.
Well, the fact that 5 have been made, it's just gotta be. It definitely does have a following.
I mean, The Witcher was a very enjoyable show. I'm not too familiar with the lore and story behind The Witcher, but as a TV show, it was pretty solid. And I mean, from what I've seen online, most people seem to agree that it's a good show. It's not terrible. The same with the League of Legends show, Arcane.
Yes.
That one got a really good reception. Now, again, I'm not too sure how close it is to the source material, but you know, overall,
that one
seemed to agree that it was a pretty great show.
And I liked it too, but that one was different in the sense that it didn't already have a show or a video game, yes, but the video game, as far as the lore goes, you're pretty much reading up on bios of characters, and it does give you like background or whatever, but like it's not the same as where there was an old show that already had like, you know, an established timeline and everything, and then all of a sudden the show comes in and a new remake or whatever comes in and changes things. At least League of Legends, they kind of just came in fresh, you know what I mean? And I think that's why people liked it a lot more. But then, so Cowboy Bebop was one of them. And you're the one that actually saw it, and you're the one that explained it to me as to what they changed and what you didn't like. So maybe you should like kind of give your insight on that. I saw some of
it, and honestly, the visuals were, I don't know. I guess in the age of like awesome blockbuster Avengers movies that Marvel makes, I don't know, maybe it's gotten me kind of used to, you know, better quality CGI and stuff, special effects, and I don't know, the show just kind of like didn't bring it.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it's a hard show to pull off. It really is. And I guess what didn't help them was kind of changing the established, the established, I don't want to say timeline because it's not necessarily timeline, but I guess the characters.
The established story.
The story, yes, there you go.
Pertaining to certain characters. And by the way, there may be spoilers.
I'll avoid spoilers.
Well, if you haven't seen the show, just in case, I want to put that out there.
But yeah, it's just, they completely changed aspects of the story and turned it into something completely different.
Yeah.
One character in particular just has a completely different personality. It's just, it's not the way the character from the show was written, and I don't know, comes off as very
disingenuous.
Yeah, disingenuous, and I understand why people hate it. I really do, and it's just one of those things where I think they felt like, oh, as long as we stamp the Cowboy Bebop name on it, people are gonna love it, and we'll have the ability to just make changes where we see fit. And no, you can't just do that. You know, people would tune in to watch it because they want to, I guess, continue in the case of Cowboy Bebop, kind of continue the story of, you know, the crew of the Bebop, and you know, see these characters again just in live action form, and now you're kind of changing some of them where to the point where we kind of don't recognize them as the
Right.
same character, and then
Right.
I don't know. And I guess the worst one of all might just be Halo. That one I know
that
caught
one
a
got
lot of
that one got a lot
bad
of grief.
attention.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did. And it's interesting because you brought it to my attention that was one of the shows where they were kind of upfront that it wasn't going to be the original.
Yeah, it's like
Halo.
they said like, oh, this is like the silver timeline. It
Yeah, and
does-
I didn't even know that until you told me.
And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I get it. You know, maybe a different timeline, but at the same time though, you're still using, you know, Master Chief.
Right.
And you're
Right.
putting him in, you're making him do stuff that people who follow the series know Master Chief would never do.
Yeah, like taking off his helmet in the first episode and
Banging some random chick.
just like
Maybe not random chick,
multiple
but
nude scenes.
it's just,
I don't know. It just doesn't rub people the right way, and it kind of reminded me of that comparison that I made with Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know it's not the same thing, but let me just give you an example. Let's say if like someone makes a remake of Halloween, right? And all of a sudden, like in this new show or whatever, Michael Myers takes off his mask, you know, and just starts like showing all these feelings, and he has a nude scene, and he's like having sex with somebody, and it's like, dude, what the hell is this? That's like a bastardization of Michael Myers in Halloween, you know. Now, obviously, like Michael Myers isn't Master Chief, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like it would come off as absolutely ridiculous.
comes
to
off
people.
as fan fiction.
Yes, exactly. And
Like
that's,
you could just
yes.
imagine someone,
Yep.
you know, on their keyboard in the middle of the night. So then the Master Chief, he's gonna meet this lady, right? And she's part of the Covenant. And then he takes off his armor. And it's like, see, that's not.
And they have sex and there's nude scenes and
You get to see the Master Chief's butt, and oh my God, it's glorious.
Yeah.
It's like,
And that same guy made the Michael Myers fanfiction too. He's like, Michael Myers is gonna take off his mask and then he's gonna get naked and have sex with somebody. Like, dude.
like I know maybe sometimes writing fan fictions can lead to something kind of like.
God.
I remember hearing that 50 Shades of Grey was like a fanfic for Twilight. I'm not sure how true that is, but
Really?
that's
I've
one of the
never
things I
heard of
had
that.
heard.
I've never heard of that one. Wow.
So I was like, okay, well, you never know. I guess maybe that's how we got this Halo series where the Master Chief is apparently, you know, having sex and not really
Yeah.
the Master Chief that we know.
And this kind of brings up, that reminds me of another point. It's not the Master Chief you know, it's not the Halo you know. It also gives me issue with how they title things.
Mhm.
And I guess an example would be like when the video game Sonic, when the Sonic 2006 game came out for the Xbox, and it was just called Sonic the Hedgehog, right? But it was super different from the old Sonic games, right? It was like, of course, it was in 3D, but he was also running like it had a very big RPG side to it too. Like at least it looked like that way to me. I haven't played it, but like I've seen like, you know, walkthroughs and reviews of it. He's going through like a town talking to human beings and just kind of, I'm like it just certainly did not have that same feel as the original Sonic games, and like, but it's just called Sonic the Hedgehog, so it's I remember watching the Angry Video Game Nerd review on it, and he goes, yeah, like for anybody who's new, who hasn't played the Sonic game, just start off with the Xbox one. That's all you need to know about Sonic. Just start with this one, and then you're getting everything. You're getting everything Sonic. And a lot of people were like, no, that's like blasphemy. You know what I mean? Like that's not like the original Sonic. And kind of like the same thing. You know, like with Cowboy Bebop, it was just called Cowboy Bebop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if anybody had never seen it, right? And all of a sudden, like, well, I've never seen the anime. Anime's not really my thing, but you know, this is a Netflix live. Yeah, sure, I'll watch this one. And it's kind of like, yeah, that like if you haven't seen the anime, just watch the live action. That you're gonna get the same thing, and you're not. You're clearly not. Kind of like what he said. Like some of the characters are very different. They did change up the story as far as what character impacts a certain part of the story and all that. It's certainly not the same. And I think that's part of what upsets people a lot. You know what I mean? Like I think if you want to call it Cowboy Bebop, fine. Just maybe change the title a little bit. Maybe make it very, very well known that it's not going to be exactly the same. I think just some like a small tweak like that can kind of go a long way.
See, personally, I'm kind of of the mindset that they should kind of stick to making like just new shows. Like honestly, yes, so some of the shows that come out are great, but as we've seen, the majority of the time, they just don't hit the mark, and it kind of ruins it for people who are fans of that property. So I just feel like why not just try to create something new, something completely different, and see where that leads you. Because all they're doing now is they're just ruining great things. Like they're ruining a show or a comic book or anime for the fandom. And I feel like when they decide, okay, well, I'm gonna take this existing property and I'm gonna make a new show, I feel like they get kind of lazy in the sense that they feel like they don't really have to try that hard to make it a good show, just because it's like Yu Yu Hakusho, they're remaking it, and that's one of the things that has me worried. Because
One Piece too.
I'm thinking they're just gonna say, well, it's Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho already has a big fan base, so we can just half-ass the story, add some cool fight scenes, and call it a day. And I know that if they do that, it's gonna ruin the show for a lot of people who already know Yu Yu Hakusho, and then they're going to be in the same situation that people who made Halo were in, the people who made the new Resident Evil.
That's another one. Wow, what a just right out of the gates, man. Like I just heard it's doing really bad, and that's kind of what happens. Like I said, you're not guaranteed the established fan base that comes with it. That has to be earned. I've heard people who made the Halo television show didn't even consult anybody who made the original games, or like a lot of the creators have never even played the games before. They maybe just read up a little bit on the lore and that's it, and they just kind of ran with whatever else they wanted to do. And again, you're the one that bought the rights. The person who owns Halo or whatever, they gave you the rights, so whatever, you're entitled to do whatever you want with it. But like what he said, if you just go in and half-ass things, you half-ass the story, you half-ass the characters, then don't be surprised if the established fans aren't interested in it.
The biggest example is, and it hasn't even come out yet, the Rings of Power.
Oh gosh, that's another one.
And that one's already,
there's so many.
That one's already,
I don't know,
seems to be set up for failure.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of people were. That's where I kind of started saying like, oh, it's fan fiction. So many people are just calling it fan fiction, and just like, yeah, it kind of just what we've already talked about. Just the whole.
To be fair though, it hasn't come out yet, so maybe it could still be a decent show.
Yeah.
Maybe it's still a good show, but
yeah, and like I love Lord of the Rings. Like I've watched the movies. I've read at least the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books. So, but I'm not gonna claim like I'm not a huge like fan to the point where I know every single thing about the lore and I can pick apart. I'm not. Like I'm really not. But because of all the things that have happened with all these like shows and like adaptations and all that have been coming out, like now it's just like this huge.
You expect failure.
You're extremely skeptic about everything now, because a lot of things that have come out are just like, really, like come on, like it's just so it's basically like a caricature. Like it's a caricature of what the original really was, and that's just like, why even waste your time with it? You know what I mean?
Or maybe
I'm not saying that's how the Lord of the Rings is going to be, because it hasn't, like you said, he hasn't come out. I wasn't really interested in that show to begin with, because I don't think it's canon with anything. I think they're just they're setting it like in 1,000 or 2,000 years before the events, and I'm like I don't know, like I don't think that's got anything to do with any established canon or lore or anything. They're just kind of like doing their own thing. So hey, you do you.
Yep, but I don't know. Like I said, personally, I wish they would kind of just stay away from
Hands off.
hands off like really big IPs, and just try to be creative, create something new. You have all these writers in Hollywood, and you're telling me no one can come up with a good story. You have to either rehash or or repackage a property that's already out there, that already has a show, and just remake it, or just go kind of like Halo. Oh, well, that one seems popular, I want that one. It's like, I'll just make the story's already there, I'm just gonna make some adjustments. It's like, come on, you guys. Yeah, so many writers out there.
Yeah,
I find it hard to believe that there isn't one person who's like, I have an idea.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that is happening, but then like they'll say, you know what, like maybe we can make that into a Resident Evil show, and just tweak a few things around, and hopefully at least a percentage of their fan base will come in. And I really think that's what it boils down to. It's like, we'll make something, they're just reaching into things that already have an established fan base and just hoping that enough of the fans would be interested enough to give them views and make them successful, and if that's your plan, if that's your mentality going forward, all I'm saying, it doesn't seem to be working. At least to me, I don't know, it just does not seem to be working, and they keep doing it though.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, are they hoping that they're just gonna get lucky one of these times? I don't know, but
and I don't know, maybe their problem, maybe it's that they're grabbing the, what do you call it? They're grabbing these IPs that have a very, very vocal fan base. Maybe try reaching for something that isn't as popular.
But then to them it's like, why would we reach with something that doesn't have a massive following already? Like, I don't know.
It's kind of like, I guess the way I see it is like with Lock and Key. Yeah, it was a comic book. It had its fan base, but it was nowhere near the level of like Lord of the Rings, Cowboy Bebop, Yu Yu Hakusho, and it turned out, well, first season turned out to be a really good first season. The Umbrella Academy 2, comic book first, had its its fair fan base, and that one turned out to be great. And I don't know, maybe the problem is that they're just selecting these properties that just have a very rabid fan base who won't hesitate to call you out on shit, like beloved franchises that you're bastardizing.
Yeah, and you know what, like, you think about it, they're trying to reach these IPs that just have this big fan base, and they're hoping that, hey, if even half of that fan base tunes in, like, we've got it. But the bigger something is, all that means is that there's that much lore attached to it. There's that much story invested into it. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna tap into something that big, something like Halo or something like Lord of the Rings, then you need to do the research that comes with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You need to put in that much more time to make sure you're gonna put out something that I guess in this case most people would like. But if you don't, then people catch on that. Like, fandoms are crazy. People in fandoms are fucking crazy. Like, come on. Like, all of them. Like, especially like the video game fandoms. Like, man, like people love that stuff. So. Yeah, you better believe people are gonna, these like scholars and like these Trekkies, you know what I mean? Like, they will pick it apart. They will pick it apart, and the less research you do on certain subjects, like, the worse it's gonna be. Because then, like, you will only get those people who are super hardcore into it picking apart. You're also gonna get even like the more casual ones starting to pick it apart because it's that blatant that you didn't do enough research. That's just, it gets worse. So.
Yeah. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, but like, let us know, of course, as always, like, what you think about all this going on. The One Piece one is coming out. You said the Yu Yu Hakusho one is gonna be going out. And what's another one? Well, the Lord of the Rings coming out like in what, 2 months?
Sounds about right.
I think it's coming out in September, so we'll just see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm just going off the trailers on YouTube, oh man, the UK one, the one in India, the United States, it's not looking too good.
I mean, I'll give it a try.
It's not looking too good.
I will give it a try, and hopefully it's an okay show.
I don't
But
know.
we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
But thank you guys for listening to us ramble one last time, at least for now. And yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed it. Like he said, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And until next time, whenever that may be, maybe a couple months from now. But we hope that when we are back, you come back to this Oasis.
The entertainment Oasis.
Adios.
Peace out, guys.